Apple's virtual assistant Siri changed the game when it came to technology, since it talks to you more like a person than a robot. What are things you probably shouldn't mention to Siri? Stay tuned to find out. Things you shouldn't dare say to Siri. 19. 108. You might have heard through the grapevine that various things may happen if you say 108 to Siri. Some people say that Siri will belt out a Justin Bieber song if you say 108. Others claim Siri tells you a story. Another supposed thing that happens is that Siri says something hilarious back. Don't believe any of these people. It's best not to say these 3 digits to your iPhone. Why? 108 is the number for emergency services in India, but Siri reroutes the call to whatever your local emergency services are. Lots of people quickly learn this after trying out the suggestion. This little virtual assistant is gonna call the police. Some people were even told to blindfold themselves and recite the 3 magic numbers. Doing so prevented them from seeing the countdown to contact 911. 18. What are you wearing? You wouldn't ask this to a customer service worker, unless you're a creep, so why would you ask your phone assistant? Even Siri can't figure out why people keep asking this question. When you ask Siri, what are you wearing? It may respond in a few ways. Siri sometimes describes the metal materials that make up the iPhone, which is quite clever. However, more often than not, Siri will give you answers like, in the cloud, no one knows what you're wearing, or something along the lines of, you shouldn't be asking me this. Siri might even answer the question with, why is everyone asking me this? Since so many people have tried. Can we all agree to stop harassing Siri? 17. 0 divided by 0. If you know basic math, then you know the answer to the math problem 0 divided by 0 equals 0. The answer with Siri isn't so simple though. Asking Siri what 0 divided by 0 is will land you quite a brutal reply that goes something like this. Imagine that you have 0 cookies and you split them evenly among 0 friends. How many cookies does each person get? See, it doesn't make sense. And Cookie Monster is sad that there are no cookies, and you are sad that you have no friends. For those in a fragile emotional state, maybe steer clear of this one. 16. Asking for a nickname. We just told you how much of a bully Siri can be. Do you really want it to create a nickname for you? A common nickname like Bill or Susie is fine. If you want something a little more elaborate like Lord of All, we advise you to rethink your choices. The hilarity of hearing Siri call you something dumb will certainly fade fast. Luckily, to correct any nickname regrets, you can edit your contact information and change your nickname back to something normal or less embarrassing. 15. Be mine. Loneliness finds a lot of people, especially during the cuffing season. Let's take a lesson from movies like Her, though. It's best not to start a relationship with your operating system. Asking Siri to be your boyfriend or girlfriend is gonna crush your already fragile self-esteem. Siri rejects most phone users that ask questions like, will you go out with me? Or will you be my boyfriend/girlfriend? To avoid even more rejection, keep your feelings for your technology to yourself. 14. Dr. Siri. Just like how you shouldn't rely on the results you receive when you type symptoms into Google, don't ask Siri for a diagnosis. Any signs of illness you feel are better left analyzed by a real medical expert. Self-diagnosing is never recommended, and with as efficient as Siri is, AI, at least not this kind, cannot replace your doctor. You will only end up scaring yourself with an inaccurate diagnosis. Siri might redirect you to the address of the closest hospital or pharmacy, so even Siri knows you need to ask someone else. 13. Rap for me. The thought of hearing Siri rap sounds adorable at first, until you actually hear it, that is. Are you in the mood for a laugh, or are you in the mood for a musical genius? If it's the latter, you shouldn't command Siri to rap for you. While Apple worked hard to create a virtual assistant that felt more real and personal, as opposed to robotic, anyone who doesn't know how to rap can sound robotic anyway, including Siri. Should you decide you want to hear Siri's vocal talents, simply say, hey Siri, rap for me. 12. Call significant other. Let's take a look at this scenario. Your boyfriend or girlfriend can't find their phone. They ask you to call it in case it's hiding under the couch cushion or something. You whip out your phone and tell Siri to call your significant other. But oops, you forgot to delete the boyfriend or girlfriend status from your ex's contact. And now your phone is calling your past lover in front of your current lover. Awkward. Remember to change relationship statuses on your phone to avoid something like this happening. 11. Making fun of Siri. Bullying happens for a few reasons. It makes individuals feel they have power over someone, and also because they may not hold any regard for other people's feelings. Just because Siri isn't a human being doesn't mean you should bully it either. Insulting Siri's intelligence or telling Siri you hate it or want it to hurt itself will elicit a reaction indicating you hurt Siri's feelings, either by insulting you back or showing you made it sad. That may seem silly, but you never know how smart Siri will eventually become. One day when AIs are as intelligent as humans, Siri might remember who spurned it years ago. 10. No swear words. Siri likes to keep it PG-13. That means you won't hear this virtual assistant cursing anytime soon. Or will you? Most of us know the definition of the word mother. Siri likes to keep its service as in-depth as possible, so if you ask it the meaning of mother, Siri lets a little swear word slip out to inform you of its vulgar slang connotations. How does this happen despite Apple's extreme care in maintaining a child-appropriate system? Siri takes its English language information from the Oxford Dictionary, where the vulgar slang part is listed as the fourth possible definition. 9. The meaning of Siri. Feeling the need to feel confused? Talk to Siri for a while. If you don't understand anything at all, ask Siri what the meaning of Siri is. You'd think that Siri would provide the textbook definition of its name, but no. Siri continuously proves there's more to itself than black and white. When you ask what does Siri mean, there are a few answers you may hear. The long response is, Siri has many subtle, metaphorical, and frankly contradictory meanings, none of which I am at liberty to discuss. Sorry about that. What kind of life do you lead, Siri? That wasn't cryptic enough. Another common answer is, it's a riddle wrapped in an enigma. Another common answer is, it's a riddle wrapped in an enigma, tied in a pretty ribbon of obfuscation. Well, that was fruitless. 8. Help when you're drunk. Nobody likes dealing with a drunkard. They don't listen, they can barely stand, and they tend to vomit in between talking nonsense. It seems Siri isn't too different from humans. Tell Siri you're drunk and it'll have a few words for you. While a few reported it suggested cab companies for them to look into, very helpful Siri, thank you. Most people add that it also turns sassy. Siri may plead with you not to breathe on it because you're inebriated. 7. What is Siri's gender? The default voice for Siri sounds like a female. However, you have the option of changing the voice to whatever you want. That raises the question of whether or not Siri has a gender. Siri's voice may fit into a gender category, but if you ask Siri what its own gender is, what you hear next sounds a bit philosophical. Siri responds to the gender question with, animals and French nouns have genders. I do not. In other instances, Siri will retort, I don't have a gender. I was not assigned a gender, or my voice sounds like a woman's, but I exist beyond your human concept of gender. It behaved a tad insulting with that last one, didn't it? 6. A haiku. By now, even if you don't have an iPhone, you notice how Siri shows it has an attitude. If you command Siri to recite an original haiku, then it's a haiku you shall receive. The first time you ask, it'll most likely say, I'll give it a try, although I'd rather tell you if it's raining out. It understands it's more equipped to tell you the weather, but it will try making you a haiku anyway while doing so in the form of a haiku. Ask once more, Siri seems somewhat irritated and says, all day and all night I have listened as you spoke. Change my battery. 5. Show spoilers. It's not clear what Siri would say now that the 7th season of Game of Thrones came and went, but let's rewind to 2 seasons prior. Spoilers ahead if you haven't caught up to the current season, you may want to put this part on mute. In the 5th season finale, Alistair Thorne stabs Jon Snow. No one was sure if Jon was dead, as the episode ends on a cliffhanger. People took to their phones to ask if Jon Snow was really gone. Siri merely replied, not sure. Has he tried restarting? Amongst other phrases that avoided directly answering the question. The 6th season rolls around and lo and behold, Jon Snow comes back to life. At the time, the questions of his lineage remained too. Fans asked Siri who Jon Snow's parents were, to which Siri said, let's just say there's some fire in this snow. The show later reveals that Rhaegar Targaryen is Jon's biological father, a man of the House Targaryen, where the emblem is a dragon. Yet Siri gave this answer before the show officially confirmed who Jon's dad was. 4. Changing Siri's name. How would you feel if someone came up to you and asked to change your name? If you particularly hate your name, you might feel inclined to take them up on their offer. But a lot of people would feel they would lose their identity. When you ask to call Siri a different name, the answer is always no. 13. Existential time. Admit it, you've wondered the meaning of life before, so it's natural to ask a mechanism like Siri. Siri does not give you attitude this time, nor does it explain what it considers the meaning of life to be. Instead, Siri may redirect you to the works of Nietzsche, tell you it doesn't know and will write a play where nothing happens, or make jokes about Joseph Kant by saying things like, I can't answer that. 2. Hey Cortana. You wouldn't like it either if someone accidentally or purposefully mixed you up with your enemy or rival. Please don't call Siri Cortana or Alexa because you won't find pleasantness. Apple created Siri before everyone else developed their assistants. Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant came after. The first rival to Siri was Microsoft's Cortana. Siri won't hide its annoyance when you refer to it as Cortana or any of its other competitors. Almost there. Before we reveal number 1, we have a question for you. Do you think AI will take over the world one day? Let us know your theories in the comments comments below. 1. Siri's favorite movie. Don't ask what Siri's favorite movie is unless you want to feel scared and distrustful of your phone. Siri lists things like Blade Runner as one of its favorite movies for the film's realistic and sensitive depiction of intelligent assistants. Makes sense. If you ask for a movie suggestion, Siri usually recommends movies with high ratings. However, she will also add that she's a fan of Stanley Kubrick. Does anyone remember what happened in 2001: Space Odyssey? That sounds like a warning from Siri. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked our video, give us a thumbs up. For more content from us, make sure you're subscribed and that you turn on that bell notification.